Beep beep, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day today. So, this is a series of 4 antique mall visits in the Adamstown, Denver, Pennsylvania area. We're traveling east on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and we're getting off at exit 286 for Reading and Ephrata. And here we are. So we're going to the Vintage Kitchen and Antiques, which is on State Route 272 in Denver, Pennsylvania. And once you get off this exit, you follow this road past the toll booth all the way down to where it runs into 272, and you make a right turn and you go north, and it will be somewhere along your left, and you'll have to be careful watching out for it because it's not easily visible from the road. If you have a phone or something that has a GPS kind of thing going on, that might be helpful and letting you know where to slow down. There is a turning lane in the middle of Route 272, so you shouldn't have any problems getting there, hopefully. Here we are going through the toll booth. And our toll booths in Pennsylvania are no longer manned. You just drive right through them, and you have like this little thing on your window. Now here's Cody. We took him out for a little break just before we went into the store. He was trying to eat some dead grass, I think. And here's the outside of the Vintage Kitchen and Antiques place. This place opens at 10 a.m. They were having a sale, 20% off of everything in the store. They had a special sale going on singles and baseball cards. So we'll shortly see those, but there's an awful lot more stuff here than just baseball cards. There's a lot of glassware, and I'll show you that as we get into the door here. And this is what my wife likes to collect, and they have a lot of this stuff here. It's probably the most I've seen in any antique place in Pennsylvania. And there's some bittersweet vases there. And down past that 20% off the sign to the left is a hallway that has several rooms. And one of the rooms has all of these baseball cards in it. And as you can see, all single cards, 50% off. And there's some boxes that are $5 each. And I looked at a couple of those, and it just looks like mostly common cards as far as I could tell. They're in there pretty tight, so I didn't really pull any out. Has a bunch of hand-collated complete sets here. And down below this shelf is a bunch of more pricier cards in this case. And I got to look at the 50s, 60s, and 70s rows while I was there. Pulled out a couple things. And I didn't get a chance to look at any of these down here, minor stars. None of these were sleeved, so that was kind of low on my list to look at them. Wondering how I would get them out. I'd like to have a little bit of protection, but I didn't ask about them, so maybe there'd be a box there I could put some of them in, maybe, or not. Around the other end of that table is some more baseball cards. As you can see, they have football, basketball, and hockey. And a lot of those had some junk wax in them. And there's some more $5 boxes. And those look like they had junk wax in them too. So right after this, I'm going to go over what I bought here. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty, hope you enjoyed the short tour of the Vintage Kitchen and Antiques in Denver, Pennsylvania. So we're going to go over what I bought there right now. But before I do, I guess he's the owner of the place. It's a gentleman and a woman there, and I think he's responsible for the baseball cards, and he's a very fun guy to talk to. Very fun guy to share your collecting experiences with. And he seems to have, I believe he told me that he has his 1970 top sets all complete. But my collecting was sort of on the end of that decade and into the 80s is when I did most of my collecting. So it was nice to share experiences of buying cards from long time ago and getting these at prices that are so much cheaper than what they cost nowadays. The one thing you'll probably want to know about this place is the pricing is generally at Beckett high value, retail value. So keep that in mind. You probably want to come here when they're having a sale if you don't want to pay that much, but there's so much to look at. It's worth spending your time looking at there because you might find that one missing card you need. And sometimes when you're looking for that one or two or three elusive cards that you can't find out in the wild, sometimes you're willing to pay up to retail price. But they were having a 50% off sale on the Saturday that we went there. So I thought that was, I have to have the look when it's at 50% off. So everything I bought there was 50% off, and that brings it down more into the price range that I'm usually looking for when I'm in antique malls. So let's see what we got here. So I got these two Roberto Clemente reprints. I believe these were both from 1997, but I'm not entirely sure. I had some trouble looking them up online, but I'll do some more digging later on. But I thought $1 for each of these was fair, but I got them for 50 cents instead because of that 50% off sale. Definitely bought a lot of vintage cards here. A lot of these were trying to fill in some holes with some of these earlier sets that I don't have that many from. This is 1976 Jerry Royce. Retail on that is 75 cents. I got that for half off, whatever that comes out to. I guess, 37.5 cents or something like that. 77 Bobby Mercer. I don't think I had that. And I think all of these cards I picked up are in pretty decent shape. I don't think I have the 1980 Lou Whitaker. At least I don't remember if I do. And if I get around to trying to dig through and it turns up I have it, oh well, I have two, and that's not a bad thing. Lou Whitaker was a great player, and hopefully someday he'll find himself in the Hall of Fame. Rico Petrocelli from 76. Again, this was half off, that's 75 cents. Amos Otis, pretty nice clean card there. 1977 Jose Cruz. I don't think I have this one, so I grabbed that. 1972 Greg Luzinski. That one was originally $1.25. Not sure what half of that comes out to. John Candelaria rookie card from 76. The Candyman. Originally $1.50. Got it for 75. Larry Parrish rookie from the same set. Also $1.50. Got it for 75. 1967 Tony Taylor. That was originally marked at $2. Got it for $1. Gene Mauch from the same set. That was originally marked at $4. Got it for $2. Kind of interesting to see this little black line across here. I'm guessing that's where they should have made the cut. So this might be considered a miscut, but for my collecting of miscuts, I tend to want to see another card on the other end of that miscut, like the top or bottom edge of it. Got a Lee May rookie card. This one was originally marked at $4. Got it for $2. And I did buy a couple miscuts. These are from 1975 sets, Stan Bonson and Jim Mason. Somebody wrote the A's on the surface of the card, but that didn't bother me anyway. I especially like the 75 set when they have miscuts because they just look really cool. Both back ends are miscut as well. You see the top of another card on the bottom of each one of them. These were 50 cents each. I got them both for $0.25 because they were half off, and I thought that was a decent deal for miscuts. And I even got a miscut of a Hall of Famer. This is 1972 Frank Robinson. I think Beckett value for this would be $8, and they had it marked at $6, so I got it for $3. Don't usually come across too many Hall of Famers that are miscuts. When you do on eBay, they're really priced high because I think most people are starting to realize that there aren't as many miscuts as there are non-miscut cards. I think it's a myth that there are tons of these out there. And sure, there's a good amount out there. I mean, they're not very rare, but they are not as common as you might think. And so I see eBay prices on a lot of these things going up. I may do a video about miscuts down the road. I think I've mentioned that some time ago. I just have never gotten around to doing it because it's going to involve some research on my part, and I'm still not partially finished with that. So hopefully I'll get one done down the road. It would be nice to do one. 1964 Friendly Foes. This is Willie McCovey and Leon Wagner. Marked at 8, got it for 4. This was a really nice card. 1963 Duke Snyder, really nicely centered. The gentleman pulled this out of the top loader for me so I could get a better look at it. The surface was really clean. I think it just has 2 tiny little corner issues going on down there, but the top corners on it are pretty sharp. Like I said, marked at 80, got it at half off for 40. The back is centered really well too. Thought this was a really nice card, so definitely happy to have that one. This one is not a Phil Niekro rookie card. This is a Phil Niekro second-year card. His rookie card is from '64, but it is the Clay Carroll rookie card. And Clay Carroll was one of the premier relief pitchers back in the '60s. One of the proto closer, maybe we'll call them. Relief pitchers weren't used in a closer role like they were by the late 70s into the 80s. You know, Bruce Sutter, Dan Quisenberry, and Lee Smith came in all the time. Clay Carroll did an awful lot of different things, but he did acquire quite a few saves in the 60s, and him along with like Dick Raditz and Hoyt Wilhelm were forerunners to what became the closer. So this was pretty cool to get this. It's also a high-numbered card in the set, so it's a little less common than the early ones. Marked at 100, but I got it for 50. 100 is what it goes for in Beckett Retail. Pretty nice-looking card. Very happy to get that. And I thought this one was really great, too. 1970 Topps Al Kaline. Centered really nicely. I guess it's pretty sharp. Even the corners look sharp from where I'm looking at it. There might be just a little bit of wear on them, but pretty decent card for 1970. Again, marked at 60, got it for 30, and the back is centered pretty well, except for top to or side to side here. It's a little bit off, but decent card. It's hard to get some of these 60s cards. Really great centering. Now, the last card I want to show you is one of my holy grails, and I still can't believe I bought it, but I did, and I was real excited about it. It is a Mike Schmidt Ron Cey rookie card from 1973 Topps. It's graded PSA 4, and it looks like it might actually be better than that, at least to my eyes. The centering on the front is excellent for a PSA 4. I think the corner wear is a little bit on this one is what's taking it down, but the other 4 corners other 3 corners do show some wear, but I don't think they're the kind of wear that you would expect on a grade 4. But having said that, remember, I'm a newbie with graded cards. This is the first one I've bought out in the wild, and so I'm like getting my feet wet with this, and I probably will never get any of my cards graded. I've seen many videos out there of people having horror stories, getting the wrong card sent back to them, not being happy at all with the grading they got. You have to remember on the other end, it's a human, and not all humans see things the same way, I guess. We all see things a little bit different from each other, and some are harsher graders than others. It looks like some people even get better grades than they expected. The back of it looks like this. Again, that's really good centering for a 1973 card. The lower corners on here show just a little bit of wear. I don't think I can get it to pick up on the camera very well. But the top corners are showing a little bit more wear. And I suspect that this, if I were to take it out and send it to SGC, it might get another grade higher than this. Maybe a 5.5 or so. But, you know, what do I know? I don't know anything. So you're probably wondering how much I paid for this. And this is where things get a little, where I show my newbiness. Now the seller had this marked at $500, and he was just going by Beckett Retail. Beckett Retail actually says this is $600, so he probably took $100 off because it was grade 4 maybe. But I got it for $250 because it was 50% off. I thought that was a great deal when I left the store. Later on, when I got it home, I started looking this up to see what they're going for, and that's when I found out that $250 is a bit high for this, at least for this grade. Now, if this was 5 or 6, that would be a much better price. So on PSA, if you check out what their average price is for this, it's $136.88. Now, having said that, that includes cards from before the pandemic. They have card prices for these going back to 2016, and as far as I could tell, just about almost all the PSA 4s before the pandemic were selling for under $100, so that brings that average price down quite a bit. So I would think that the average price is probably more in the $160 or so range if you go post-pandemic. I did check out a couple other places. Golden Auctions is selling these between $180 and $240. eBay sold comps were between $105 and $189. eBay Buy It Now was between $180 and the weird price of $453.54. There's a place called sportsmemorabilia.com that's selling one for $835. And what made me feel a bit better about this purchase is that someone bought one on eBay back on October 18 for $368.77. So that made me feel better. Even though it looks like I overpaid on this a little bit, well, maybe a bit, $50, $60, $70 maybe more than what it seems like they're going for right now. I'm actually really happy I got it. And that's all that matters. So you were more than welcome to put criticism in the comments, and that would be fair, and I'll accept that. I definitely think I probably overpaid it. But like I said, I never really am in the market for graded cards, and so I didn't really have any idea what these were going for. It seemed to me at the time that this was a good deal, but maybe the prices of these will go up and then I'll feel better about that. But I feel great that I got it because this is one of the holy grails of collecting for me, at least, because growing up I was a fan of the late 1970s and 1980s Phillies, and Mike Schmidt, like every Philadelphia fan, well, a lot of people booed him and all that, but he was still a great player, and I think most fans knew that, even though they gave him a hard time. I guess once you start putting up big numbers down in Philadelphia, they expect you to do it all the time, and the one time you're at bat and you strike out and they need that hit, yeah, they really pour it on. Nice thing is it also has Ron Say on it, another decent third baseman from back in the day, nicknamed the Penguin. So I'm really happy with this. And I enjoyed my visit there. It was really cool talking to somebody, talking shop, I guess you could say. I don't normally get to talk shop with too many people. Usually don't run into the sellers at these booths because, they come in like one day to add things or change prices or what have you. And you usually don't line up your visit where you get to meet anybody. Once in a while I get to meet somebody at Duncansville Antique Depot, and they always seem to be willing to knock off a couple dollars off of what I'm buying, and they don't necessarily have to do that because if I want something and I'm willing to pay the price they're selling at, that's fine by me. We all have to make a living, So there you go. That was a tour and one of my Holy Grail cards. So I'll put him over here, let Nathan hold him. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Take care. Beep, beep.